Yeah. Hold on. Oh, can't talk with this thing on. You gotta get ready, man. You gotta have your mask on. You gotta get ready. Hey, man, we're cool. It's gonna come crashing down. Any second, man. Any second, it's gonna come crashing down. Hey, man, what are you talking about? If you don't have one of these, you're in trouble. Seriously, calm down. It's gonna be all right. We can take care of ourselves here. We've been taking care of ourselves for a while. We're really self-sufficient. Why don't you come join us for dinner? Thank you. That's really nice of you. Are we eating freeze-dried food for dinner? Do I need to bring this? No. My wife cooked up some green beans that we canned this summer, and we've got a whole bunch of other stuff that we just grew for ourselves here on our homestead. Come on. So welcome back to the homestead. We're glad you're here. We're just having a little fun today with our prepper friends, and we are going to talk about what a prepper is versus what a homesteader is. There's some similarities, but there are a lot of differences. Let's go. So we're going to talk about 7 points that distinguish the two from one another. And these are generalizations, right? So each one of these can be taken with a grain of salt, and they can kind of go both ways because there is a lot of crossover between the two. So the first point is talking about the motivation for leading each type of lifestyle. Now, preppers tend to be motivated by a healthy fear of a catastrophic event. And those events could include like an EMP or a total economic collapse, world collapse, something man-made, or a natural disaster such as a massive earthquake, huge volcano, whatever it may be. That is the motivation behind a prepper, and they tend to plan according to that. Now, motivation for homesteaders is different. Motivation for homesteaders is a desire to live continuously a more self-sufficient, natural lifestyle. Now let's talk about point 2, lifestyle. Preppers tend to live a more normal 21st century lifestyle. They have an office job, they live in the city, they go out to eat all the time, they do, sports games, whatever it may be. They are there in the city, but they are prepared to leave, and they are prepared with equipment to get out as quickly as possible. They have a plan to get out, and they usually have like a big food pantry store or something like that. Homesteaders are different. Homesteaders have already moved out of the city, generally. But we're talking about those who have embraced a country lifestyle, country living, more natural lifestyle, where they can grow their own food, livestock, raise their own provisions, things like that. They've acquired tools to work the land and are self-contained within their chosen area that they tend to live, which is far away, or not super far away, but a distance from civilization, from a town or a city, where they're not going to be bothered by any catastrophic events, which usually will happen in the city first. So that's a great segue to talk about point number 3, which is food. So preppers who tend to live a different type of lifestyle than homesteaders, they are usually stockpiled on things that are pre-processed, canned foods, a lot of freeze-dried foods, and they have it in bulk. Now, homesteaders tend to seek long-term sustainability by raising their own provisions and then preserving those provisions to get them from harvest to harvest. Point number 4 is water. Now, preppers tend to focus on water purification or filtration in the event of a disaster, and some will store small amounts of things like bottled water. Homesteaders focus on things a little bit differently with their preparation for water. A lot of homesteaders will have a well, a pond, a stream, or a spring, or even rainwater collection. They're thinking big amounts of water for long-term sustainability and long-term sources of that water. Now let's talk about point number 5, which is shelter, which is very different between the two groups. Preppers may have a location that they purchased, a small bug out location, a small cabin on a small property somewhere very remote. But homesteaders live and work on their semi-remote or remote property, which is their home. And that is where they spend the majority of their time if they don't work off location. Most homesteaders do work and stay on their property. So that is a big difference between the two groups of people. Now, point number 6 is being off-grid. And this point is common between the two groups of people in that they tend to not like to be dependent on any public utilities or on anybody else serving them, and just focus on producing things for themselves or taking care of themselves, being more self-sufficient. Now, preppers are different in the sense that they focus on a scenario where all utilities have broken down and they need to be away from those and apart from those, being off-grid and contained within themselves. Homesteaders tend to view being off-grid as a financial boon, and they love the self-sufficiency that brings to them. Now, our last point, point number 7, is skills. Both preppers and homesteaders tend to have the same type of skills in terms of survival skills, thinking about hunting and fishing and things like that. But what's different is homesteaders tend to add animal husbandry and a lot of gardening to that so that they can produce all that food that they want to produce for their family to be completely self-contained and self-sufficient. So there is one more point, but I am not going to cover it. Why? Because it is an intensely personal issue. And that issue is personal security or property security or family security. And you know what I mean? Pew pew, right? I'm not going to cover it. Everybody has their own views on it. I have my own view on it. You could probably guess what it is, but take that as point number 8 or 7.5, all right? So it is said that all homesteaders are preppers, but not all preppers are homesteaders. Now, that's not 100% accurate. And like I said, all of these points are generalizations, and everybody can cross the lines and blur the lines. But generally, I guess, those are the differences between preppers and homesteaders. So let me know in the comment section below who you are and what you believe that you are, because I'd love to know my audience better. Or you can say, Eric, it just doesn't matter. With all that being said, now I want you to go check out this video right here, which tells you the one thing that you need to do right now before it's too late. We love you. Have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.